much danger do you think he is in?
I think he's in quite a lot. I mean, danger is
danger of losing his job.
Quite considerably. I think what's very interesting here is that there's this assumption that he'll just have the payroll vote in his back pocket. That's the 150, right up from cabinet to very, very junior PPS. And I don't think they're as safe as people are assuming. Once they can make a private vote, not having to put a letter in with their name on, but actually they just vote yes or no and are forced in private to make a decision, I mean, you can't look at this government and think things are going well.
No, not at the moment, though you could say it's mid-term, and his attitude seems to be, brave it out, we'll get over it.
That has been his attitude for quite some time. Let's turn the page, let's turn the page, let's turn the page. Well, it seems to be a very long book, Anne.
He shocked everybody, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think he is moving on. I don't think, more importantly, I think the public have made their minds up. And I think what's more interesting is whether Tory MPs can do the same thing. Their problem, I think, is that they don't really know what they want instead.
Well, no, in fact, if you look, there's an opinion piece in the Mail today saying that the Tory MPs who are considering or who already have sent in their letters calling for a vote of no confidence in him it says they are actually cowards, hell-bent on handing Keir Starmer the keys to number 10. So it is a big decision they have to take, because if there's a leadership election, it won't look good for them, and they could ultimately lose the next general election.
Basically, divided parties don't win elections, generally. That's the general rule. The question the Conservatives have to ask themselves is, do we continue in this vein, in which we know that quite a lot of the public and the party have lost confidence in Boris Johnson? Or do we attempt a regicide, as it were? Not maybe the best weekend to use that term.
No.
And will that then unite the party, or will those who were supporters of Boris Johnson be unreconcilable to that? And I think if they had a clear candidate, they would be in a stronger position to do that. The only thing, I think, that Johnson has going in his favour is that he is the one pro-Johnson candidate, as it were.
True. What about this £36 billion investment in the NHS, though? Now, if he announces that this week, as we think, and we read the detail of it, if they're building a new hospital in my area, or if they're announcing a new hospital, for instance, in an area of an MP who's sort of thinking about something, whether or not to back Boris, that could turn the tide. I mean, if Boris can save the NHS, or convince us that he could save the NHS, that might be a vote winner.
I am very old and very tired, and very, very tired of having this conversation. I remember 2012 when the Tories brought in the biggest change to the NHS that we'd seen since its inception. A bill described as so big it could be seen from space.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. And that's just made everything worse. So I think the question is not just, are the British public in favour of sorting out the NHS and putting more money into it? Yeah, generally, yeah, absolutely they are. The question is, do they trust the Tories to be the party to do it? And I think increasingly they do not.
Well, interestingly, if you look at the other lot, as it were, Lucy Powell, who's the Shadow Culture Secretary, has written another big piece today in The Observer saying it's not the Conservatives who enshrine our patriotic principles, it's the Labour Party. She's saying the Labour Party is the party of true patriotism.
I mean, I've been arguing for a long time now, as a person on the left, as a commentator on the left, and a Labour Party member, though no longer activist, really, that absolutely the Labour Party has to embrace patriotism. I don't think there's anything more patriotic than wanting to first run your country and then thinking you could do it better and improving your country.
It's a bit rich, though, saying this now, while we're celebrating the Queen, that she's sort of politicising the Jubilee, isn't she?
I mean, who isn't politicising the Jubilee, really? Let's face it. I mean, the only reason Boris Johnson didn't go on Friday is because Graham Beatty gave him a break over the weekend.
Well, I wonder if that will give Boris the bounce he needs as well. This feel-good factor that everybody's feeling because of the Jubilee? You're not convinced?
I'm unconvinced, yeah. I think that Boris Johnson needs a lot more than the fact that people like the Queen to get through the next couple of weeks. And I think Tories might make the mistake of having this vote of no confidence before the by-elections, in which case I think Boris scrapes through. And if Boris wins by one vote, he clings on with his fingernails and he'll stay. I think if, as is very, very strongly predicted, they lose both Tiverton and Hounslow and Wakefield, thus losing both a red wall seat, as they're known, and that sort of traditional Tory area, I think that would have probably have flipped the maths a bit. So we'll see whether the Tories are smart enough to do to even manage
It'll be a testing
to do this
time, won't it? Emma, thanks very much indeed.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.